you imagine hearing voices that nobody else hears, seeing things that nobody else can see, or constantly believing that your closest friends and families are plotting against you? Well, people with schizophrenia experience this in their everyday life. Schizophrenia can be a serious disorder and people need to be aware of this illness to better understand it so that one day we can treat it or overcome it. What is schizophrenia? Schizophrenia, according to ehealthmd.com, schizophrenia is a serious mental illness that affects how a person feels, thinks, and behaves. The person finds it difficult to tell the difference between real and imagined experiences, to think logically, to express feelings, or to behave appropriately. Schizophrenia only affects about 1% of the world's population, but it can be found all over the world, in every social group. The symptoms of being schizophrenic include hearing or seeing things that aren't really there. These experiences can be scary and uncomfortable, causing the person to be fearful or withdrawn. People with schizophrenia can come off as frightened of others because they have a hard time organizing their thoughts and expressing themselves. People with schizophrenia don't usually act irregular, but they can seem normal and in control, even while they are experiencing a hallucination or a delusion. There are three types of schizophrenia. The first type is called the paranoid type, which is characterized by the delusions and hallucinations, but is relatively normal intellectual functioning and expression of affect. This organized type is the second type of schizophrenia. It is characterized by the speech and behavior that are disorganized and difficult to understand. And the third type of schizophrenia is called catatonic type, and it's characterized by the disturbance of movements. They usually keep to themselves, and they basically can be immobilized for hours, not moving or just sitting there. There are currently no cures to schizophrenia, only treatments that can make this illness less controlling of your life. To know what schizophrenia is all about is one thing, but to experience your friend live with it is a whole nother story. Last year, one of my good friends became totally addicted to cocaine. His heavy use of cocaine caused him to develop schizophrenia. I watched my friend slowly change and become a different person. I saw how this disorder changed my friend's life. It not only affected him, but affected everyone around him, including his mom, his friends, and his family. He would call me late at night telling me that he could hear my voice at the window, even though I was at home in my own room. I would sometimes ask him to go out and hang out, but he became so distrustful of me because he thought that I was out to get him. One time when we went on a camping trip, his schizophrenia got so bad that he looked me in the eye and threatened to stab me with a knife. And I knew he was dead serious about it. Luckily, my friend eventually got help and is now sober, but schizophrenia will always be there, constantly reminding him of his old ways. Schizophrenia is a very serious mental illness that everybody seems to overlook. In conclusion, if diagnosed and treated early, an individual may be able to control and live with this disorder in his life. It is also important to understand what people with this disorder is going through so that we can be sensitive and help them overcome this illness. And lastly, we need to raise awareness of this illness because schizophrenia can heavily affect a person's life and everyone around them.